A very good evening. It's Sunday, the 17th of July 2017, and welcome to a brand new edition of News First Weekend. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines. Neville Fernando Hospital in Malabar to be vested in the public tomorrow. Government to take over NFH. Senior DRG Lalit Jayasinghe further remanded until the 25th of this month. Vimal Weerawansa speaks on the bond scam. State Minister Ruwan Wijewardene receives a bitter welcome in Kelaniya. Minister Amarugama says the final decision regarding the NPP will be made by the Parliament. Imprisoned Maldivian Vice President says that he has evidence to prove ex-President Nasheed's innocence. Starting off with a look at some sports news, Roger Federer became the first man to win Wimbledon 8 times and extended his record to 19 Grand Slam titles with victory over Croatia's Marin Cilic. The Swiss third seed won 6-3, 6-1, 6-4 as seventh seed Cilic struggled with blisters on his left foot and broke down in tears during the second set. Federer, 35, finished the contest in 1 hour and 41 minutes to claim his first Wimbledon title since 2012. He becomes the oldest man in the Open era to win the Wimbledon title. A special program was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena today to improve maternal health and nutrition.
The event held at the Presidential Palace in Kandy was organized by the Office of the Central Province Governor. During the event, nutrition packs and dry rations were distributed among over 1,000 expectant mothers, and they were also treated to lunch at the Presidential Palace. The parents of the youth, whose heart was used in the first heart transplant operation in the country, also met with the President today.
The Neville Fernando Teaching Hospital will be handed over to the government tomorrow. Now, various views are being expressed regarding the move.
The estimated value of this hospital is over 3.5 billion rupees. It has some of the latest technology. Neville Fernando has also promised to pay off the loans that have been taken for this hospital. This is a great donation. It was the only charge left against SITEM. They said there were no patients for SITEM students to practice on. This resolves that issue. This teaching hospital will function as a state hospital from the 1st of August. Did the medical students who are boycotting classes request that this hospital be taken over by the state? Did the medical lecturers request for this? No one involved in this issue made such a request. Everyone believes that this is not the solution to the issue. They should listen to the voice of the youth. In a society that does not listen to them, we cannot stop certain actions that they might take. The government has failed to provide justifiable responses to any of the demands made by these students. If they are attempting to stop this battle using false solutions, then it will become the start of a major tragedy. Neville Fernando had an issue maintaining the hospital, and the government has resolved it. This is a misuse of the people's money. I didn't start this hospital to make money. When I began SITEM, I signed an agreement with the Western Province Minister of Health to allow the students of SITEM to engage in clinical training at the Thalangama, Avisawela and Homagama hospitals. I also pledged 200 million to develop these hospitals. At such a time when SITEM students went to the Homagama hospital, GMOA extremists chased away my students. That is when I thought of creating my own hospital. There was no money that was allocated for this purpose. So I took a 200 million rupee loan from the Bank of Ceylon to create this hospital. After construction was completed, I obtained another 1.5 million rupees in loans. I am donating all of this. I have also promised to pay off all these debts.
The 484th police station in the country was declared open in Arachikadu yesterday under the auspices of IGP Pujit Jayasundara.
The people come to the police when they are in some sort of trouble or when they are facing an issue. We need to understand that we need to provide some sort of relief for them. We are in this position right now not because we are lucky, it is because of the people's involvement. We have responsibilities and we need to fulfill them in accordance with the common agenda. Today we have the ability to carry out our responsibilities without any interference. Many of our shortcomings are pointed out. The media has the freedom to do that. However, there are some who misuse this. There are certain things posted on social media which have no basis at all. We have no time to investigate such baseless claims. We need to fulfill our duty, and the best answer we can give to everyone is by fulfilling our duties in an honest manner.
Senior DIG of Central and Uber provinces Lalit Jayasinghe, who was arrested by the CID yesterday, was remanded till the 25th of July by the KITE's acting magistrate today.
Senior DIG Lalit Jayasinghe was arrested yesterday for allegedly allowing one of the suspects who was arrested over the gang rape and murder of schoolgirl Sivaloganathan Vidya to escape police custody. The senior DIG who was arrested in Colombo was to be taken to KITE's this morning in order to be produced before the KITE's magistrate. The vehicle transporting the suspect met with an accident near KITE's around 2:30 a.m. Police said the accident was caused when the police driver had fallen asleep on the wheel. The vehicle had veered off the road and collided onto an electricity post. Nothing serious had happened. According to the reports we have received, no one was injured. We wanted to produce the suspect before the magistrate. If there is a problem with the accident, then there will definitely be an investigation.
ජයසිංහ මහත්මයා ගැනත් ඒ වගේම ඔප්පු වී තිබෙනවා ඇති මම හිතන්නේ කාරණාව සම්බන්ධව මේ අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න.
It is better not to discuss details about the case regarding Lalit Jayasinghe because a case is being heard in this regard before a panel of 3 judges in Jaffna. An arrest is made once certain revelations are made.
News First continues to report on an attempt to defraud public funds through the development of a national payment platform. More details pertaining to this attempt that violates even the law of the country are coming to light.
The system will connect state institutions, banks, other financial institutions and the general public into one network. With this system, payments and settlements can be carried out online easily. The central bank confirmed to News First that initial steps were taken by it to create a national payment platform. The initiative taken by the central bank was to connect the commercial banks with the automated system for customs data or ASICUDA. The custom clearance in the country is carried out through ASICUDA. However, only 2 state banks can do online transactions with this system. The central bank, through its direct intervention, has created a system through Lanka Clear that would link the commercial banks with this system. A letter sent by the Director of Payment and Settlements of the Central Bank to all Chief Executive Officers of commercial banks on the 11th of October 2016 says the Monetary Board has granted approval to Lanka Clear Private Limited to offer interbank fund transfer facility in respect to payments to Sri Lanka Customs and ASICUDA. The letter says that the system will be available from the 1st of November 2016. While Lanka Clear was taking initial steps with the approval of the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka to create a national payment platform, these attempts have been disrupted. Several days before the letter of the Director of Payment and Settlements of the Central Bank, that is on the 3rd of October 2016, the Finance Minister at the time, Ravi Karunanayake, has also sent a letter to all the CEOs of commercial banks. This letter says that ICTA has already completed the integration of ASICUDA system with the national payment platform. The minister in his letter says that the Finance Ministry intends to launch the system on the 1st of November and requests the commercial banks to integrate its software with the NPP. The letter provides the telephone number of the CEO of ICTA, Muhundan Kanage, asking that he be contacted if there is a need for clarifications. The Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, had written a letter on the 8th of July 2016 to Minister Ravi Karunanayake, where he says that the system should be under the supervisory and regulatory role of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. In this letter, the Governor says that the Central Bank has no regulatory role over this proposed national payment platform. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka is under the Ministry of National Policy and Economic Affairs, which is a ministry that falls under the Prime Minister. All licensed commercial banks in the country fall under the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. In this backdrop, how did the Minister of Finance provide instructions to commercial banks to be integrated into this national payment platform? Why are there continuous attempts to enact proposals that have been criticized by the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka?
How safe are your financial details? Why is ICTA attempting to risk storing your sensitive financial details on cloud servers, disregarding central bank warnings? Why is ICTA attempting to break the law and circumvent the central bank's regulations by promoting the national payment platform be outsourced to a private company With no significant achievements to date, how many more ruinous scandals will Mohandan Khanage drag ICTA through before the government takes action against public money being squandered? Watch News First as we unravel yet another ICTA scandal.
In other local news, Minister of Special Projects Dr. Sarath Amarkama made clarifications on the proposed national payment platform following an event held in Kandy.
Sir,
We are moving towards a cashless future dominated by the use of cards. We hope to create a board to monitor and regulate such transactions. They will not be able to regulate anything. They will provide technical assistance. The regulation will be handled by the Ministry of Finance or a separate institute will be created. A final decision on who will be the regulator has not been reached. The central bank says that they have a responsibility regarding the flow of money. The final decision will be made when it comes to Parliament. However, we will be moving towards a cashless society and we should be prepared for it. Not yet, because it needs to be decided through a parliamentary act. Till then, we cannot do anything. We will take the governor's statements and statements from others and form a cabinet paper. Then it will be presented in Parliament and everything can be taken into consideration.
2 years after the alleged bond scam took place, the Presidential Commission of Inquiry has brought to light much evidence never revealed before. Who are the key players surrounding this incident and how are they connected? Newsfirst Zulfiq Farzan takes a look at how the story of the Treasury bond scandal began.
Faced with repayments on the massive loans inherited from the previous government, the central bank decided to raise 1 billion rupees through an auction on the 27th of February. Little did they know this would be the trigger of a monumental public outcry. The bank received just over 20 billion rupees in bids, and former Governor Arjuna Mahendran instructed the Public Debt Department to accept 10 billion. On the 16th of March 2015, in an exclusive with Newsfirst, Mahendran accepted that there was a communication gap between the central bank and primary dealers.
Now in this instance, I think that communication didn't work properly. We should have said we needed to raise 10 billion, but of course we had advertised it the previous day, and I only got to know of the Treasury requirement on the Thursday. So there was miscommunication. I accept that. Perpetual
Treasuries Limited is the primary dealer under investigation for making extremely large bids at the controversial auction. While Arjun Aloysius is listed in the parent company of PTL, Kasun Palisena acts as the CEO of the primary dealer. Arjun Aloysius is the son-in-law of Arjuna Mahendran, the governor of the central bank at the time of the auctions under investigation. At the auction on the 27th of February 2015, perpetual treasuries made 15 billion rupees in bids, of which 13 billion were made through the Bank of Ceylon. This sparked the controversy, with the Auditor General calculating that the actions of PTL resulting in a massive loss to the nation. His revelation was made before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Trading practices of perpetual treasuries has come under question as well. The Attorney General's Department exposed a pattern in trading designed to mask the real beneficiary in the bond transactions. The pattern has been designed at the expense of the employees' provident fund. The intermediary identified by the Aegis Department was Pan Asia Banking Corporation, who generated a marginal profit in this role. PTL has used money brokers for the same purpose. What's more astonishing is that the former chairman of Pan Asia Banking Corporation PLC, Nimal Pereira, had also used the bank to trade his securities and the securities of his company, NP Capital, with the EPF. The Presidential Commission wants to know who else benefited through this intermediary operation. In all these transactions, the point person at the Employees Provident Fund is Saman Kumar. His extensive assets have led the Commission to question his personal financial position. He will appear before the Commission again on Monday. Where will Saman Kumar's evidence lead? Will it expose the people at the top involved in the scam? News First will continue to follow the evidence with the Commission and connect the dots.
Well, here are some of the views expressed by opposition politicians with regard to fraud and corruption.
Now an alcohol distillery is being made with Aloysius's money. Newspapers are being purchased. There was a paper called the Puduma Pattare. There was a heap of papers. They can print even a ton of paper if they want to, because of the amount that they stole. 2 television channels have been given loans worth millions. The owners remain the same officially, but loans amounting to 500 million each have been given. Agreements have been made in such a way that the television channels are to report news and other political programs according to their needs until the loans are paid off. It is there in the agreement. Only the 2 parties concerned are aware of this. They have got hold of 2 channels. I can even show those channels from among you. One is here.
Channel දෙකක් අල්ලලා මට ඕනම් මෙතනින් පෙන්න දෙයි. එකක් නම් ඉන්නවා. දෙන්නම එක ළඟ ඉන්නේ. දැනට පොඩ්ඩක් මධ්‍යස්ථයි වගේ පෙන්නනවා.
Both are together. They may seem to be unbiased, but when an election is nearing, everything will be revealed. They will work for Ranil Wickremesinghe. That is the agreement. With this fraud, they are controlling even the country's media. No investigation is being carried out. That amount is not calculated, but they count the money collected in tills of temples. 1 month and a few days after the change in government, 26 billion rupees was defrauded from the central bank, which comes under the purview of the Prime Minister. This was just the beginning. Ravi Karunanayake and Arjuna Aloysius have got together under the guidance of Ranil Wickremesinghe. There are charges against 10 ministers of the government. That amounts to 131 billion. They are trying to catch up for the 17 years they spent in the opposition. We have a Prime Minister who doesn't even know about the issues in his house. He is a shameless Prime Minister. This government came to power to give media freedom, but those who came forward for free media are trying to bring in acts to keep the media quiet. Why? When the government is not working and when facts of frauds and corruption are being revealed, they want the media to be quiet. Dear friends, the media cannot be curtailed with acts.
Ada residents gathered in protest at a private land in Galledanda area in Begama Pradesha Sabha, the location where garbage collected in the Kalaniya Pradesha Sabha is being dumped.
While area residents who gathered were protesting against garbage being dumped there, State Minister of Defence Ron Vijayawardena arrived at the location. A tense situation arose when the individual, allegedly the owner of the land, tried to prevent the minister from entering the land. Subsequent to discussions with the people, the State Minister expressed these views to the media.
There is no garbage issue in this area. A problem will be created when garbage from another location is being dumped here. There are 4 villages here. Therefore, I think an alternative must be sought.
Politicians reacted to concerns regarding a group of SLF peers abandoning the government.
I will not become an independent MP. If I need to, I will go and sit in the opposition. The President placed his trust in us. We will not break this trust. We will continue until the 31st of December. If we do decide to move, then the entire group of 41 MPs will move. There won't be any solitary journeys. We need to make decisions on why we are to move. There is no point in crossing over for the sake of weakening the government. We will fall into a bigger mess then. We are ready to change the government at any time. Mahinda Rajapaksa will have to face what is written in the Panchatantra. If you try to destroy the national government that we worked so hard to create, the repercussions of his actions will be far worse than what he experienced when he called for early elections and lost the presidency. We will not allow this government to become unstable. Although statements have been made, no one has left. Forming a government after splitting apart the alliance is just a dream. I need to state that what is necessary now is for all the alliance MPs to work together under Maithripala Sirisena's leadership.
While attending a function in Gampaha today, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa expressed views about the delay in holding local government elections.
The government will have to go home when we take to the roads. We are making plans for this. They are postponing the local government elections indefinitely. It has been 2.5 years without village representatives. They will not be able to postpone this for long. We will soon call for an election. Not only that, we will also win that election. We had to pay for sins committed by Basil Rajapaksa. The draft bill was presented to the parliament, so I believe there is no need to talk. We just need the bill to be passed in parliament.
The foundation stone was laid today for the 115th model village in the Hambantota district under the Samita 7 model village program.
The function to lay the foundation stone for the village named Sasirimath Gama took place today under the auspices of Minister of Housing and Construction Sajith Premadasa. This is a selfless era. The country is no longer going through a self-obsessed era. This is not an era where we serve ourselves. It was like that during the previous regime. In the name of war victory, one family made all the decisions. The power to make decisions, all the benefits and perks were vested with one family. Did the people vote for this? We received a mandate to develop the country.
Also in local news, a number of dengue eradication programs were launched today as well.
The Railway Department launched a campaign today to clean up the surroundings of 351 railway stations around the country in line with the National Dengue Eradication Programme. I was the health minister who was criticized the most through the media. Back then there were only around 9,000 dengue patients. They drew cartoons of me every day. Today there are 100,000 dengue patients. This is irony or fate. Based on my knowledge, I asked people not to wear short clothing because of dengue. They took this statement and drew many cartoons of me. Today the Department of Health calls on the public to do the same. Time has proven that I am correct. A program to clean up the environs of UNP headquarters Sirikota was also launched today and was organized by the National Youth Front. We will be joining hands with the youth who love the UNP and the country in order to take this program that was begun at Sirikota island-wide. We have already made plans for this and we hope this will serve as an example. Such activities have also become politicized. Apparently they recruited 60 people to the Kota Municipal Council just to combat dengue. I asked what they were doing and it turned out they are not working on dengue eradication. The dengue doctor of the urban council and the MOH are apparently feuding. 93 people are supposed to be working in the municipal council, but they are mostly ghosts who just sign in to work. I advise them to put up signs which detail when garbage will be collected. However, these boards did not have any name, nor did it have the UNP's name. They are not putting up these 17 boards. We put one up near Sirikota, but local politicians here are putting up other hoardings. What is the meaning of this?
On to another headline-making stories. Former Vice President of Maldives, Ahmad Adib, has stated that former President Mohammad Nasheed's 13-year jail term was masterminded under direct government scheming and influence.
In a letter to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court from Mafushi jail, former Vice President Ahmad Adib says he has evidence to prove President Nasheed's innocence and is prepared to testify to that effect in court. Adib goes on to state that the reason President Yamin's government jailed President Nasheed was to stop him leading a political campaign following Colonel Mohammad Nazim's arrest in Nazim's defense. Former Defense Minister Colonel Nazim was arrested on the 10th of February 2015. President Nasheed was arrested on the 22nd of February 2015. Meanwhile, former President Mohammad Nasheed has called for a thorough international investigation into allegations of corruption, money laundering, bribery and other crimes carried out by President Abdullah Yameen and his officials. The call follows damning new testimony given by former Vice President Ahmad Adib from his jail cell, which was made public on Wednesday the 12th of July. Adib's testimony relates to the MMPRC scandal in 2015 when government officials stole some $80 million of public funds. In his testimony, Adib says that President Yameen pocketed some 80% of the stolen funds.